The focus here on this ranch, you know, is to manage for everything. We're kind of greedy. We want it all. We want a healthy land base that makes, you know, that pays for itself, that generates real revenue through grazing and hunting primarily. So in terms of generating money, our idea is we're trying to turn sunlight into dollars, you know, solar dollars.
Hello, I'm Chris Call. I'm a range scientist at Utah State University. I'm here at Deseret Land and Livestock, a large private ranching operation in northern Utah, and I'm standing in the midst of sagebrush, which is one of the main ecosystems on the ranch, and we're going to be looking at their innovative management in relation to livestock grazing, but also in relation to wildlife habitat. Hey Rick.
How you doing, Chris?
Good to see you.
Good to see you again. You know, we've been people living here managing this place since 1891. And one of the things I like to do sometimes is just come out on a hill like this and just think, how can you make a place like this pay for itself as wildland? But I think the thing we're mimicking is that you had herds of a variety of sizes moving across the landscape, moving around, finding new food, finding new water. So we try to make our effect with grazing that way. We're trying to mimic what the fire would have done to the brush. You know, maybe 200 years ago, maybe if a fire started right here, it might burn 50,000 acres.
Yeah.
We can't afford, you know, the wildlife that live here can't afford, I don't believe, those huge fires anymore.
Okay, Rick, we're coming into what looks like an island of sagebrush. Why was this left behind, and why was that treated on this side and treated on the other side?
You know, our whole goal is to kind of intersperse these various ages of, you know, grass-dominated, mid-age sage and old sage, mix them all together. You know, pygmy rabbit doesn't want a big grass patch. You know, he wants brush. Something like this in front of us, you know, and you'll see them down in holes, you know, underneath the brush, like this spot right here. The size of that hole is about perfect for a pygmy rabbit.
Oh,
I don't see any pygmy rabbit poop. This is the kind of area where you see them. I would suspect what we're looking at there is like a ground squirrel of some sort.
Okay.
The way we're making our money is making beef and growing elk and pronghorn, you know, deer and pronghorn. So we've got to have that compromise. We can't just favor pygmy rabbits, can't just favor prairie dogs, can't just favor cows, can't just favor deer. In a sense, ecology and economics kind of go together. You know, that the way that we're going to do the best for the owner and ensure that this place can afford to be managed as a big piece of wildland is to be ecologically sound and economically sound.
I don't have a favorite. People ask me where my favorite part of the ranch is, and I always say right here where I'm at. You've got a bull that's our average bull here. Almost every mature bull will get to at least that size. And then above you have another one that's a little bit above the average, you know, and we like getting those genetics because the guys are looking for that little bit bigger one. Then over there in the corner we got that beautiful mount that one of our hunters that hunts with us every year. And we're fortunate he built this beautiful place for us too. He harvested those back-to-back years that are real top-end, world-class bulls. 1/3 of all the income that comes into the ranch is through the wildlife programs, through the viewing of wildlife, through the catching of fish, bringing fishermen in, and through the hunting program of our bucks and bulls.
You know, diversity is not just important ecologically, but it's important economically. There's an area just to the north of us, it's called the Three Creeks Project, west of Randolph, Utah, where A couple of dozen small ranchers are combining their private land, about 7 BLM allotments and several Forest Service allotments to try to do a similar type of a grazing program as to what's happening here. So from that point of view, small landowners can achieve the same thing that we have.
It's one big experiment.
It is.
If you look at it that way. So,
well, thanks.
yeah, thanks for spending time with me. Okay, appreciate it.
Well, we always appreciate getting the feedback.
Okay.
Time to head in for dinner?
Sure.